So I got an MJT Refinish, and I think most people will want to know, did they do a good job and was it worth it? Hey everyone, I'm Jack Fossett. Welcome to the channel, and today I'm going to talk a little bit about my experience getting an MJT Refinish. I have to set up this story a little bit, so bear with me. So earlier in the summer, I did a trade for a Fender Stratocaster that was in sunburst. And it was offered to me as an older American vintage Stratocaster. This is a guitar that I have always wanted, a sunburst 50s Stratocaster, and believe it or not, that's one of the few guitars that I've wanted that I've never gotten my hands on, a real 50s style Stratocaster in sunburst finish. So I jumped at the opportunity. Now, when I got there to meet him, and he had sent pictures too, and some kind of little quirky thing about it, which was that the finish looked a little wonky. There was something about the sunburst that wasn't quite right. It seemed off slightly. I still wanted to go see it though, because there are certain things that you look for on a Fender guitar to kind of know whether or not it's legit. And when I got there and saw it, and from the pictures, you could tell it was a legit guitar. But there was something about the serial number too. The serial number looked older. It was just this finish. It was beautifully reliced, but the sunburst itself was off. On the forearm rest, the black part went in too far. It was kind of awkwardly cut up at the horn. But again, the relicing was beautiful. I don't know if it was really reliced on its own or if it was a relicing job someone had done, but that part was immaculate. So I went ahead with the trade because it played really well. It seemed like it might be even older than the guy thought. And I just thought, you know, I've always wanted a guitar like this. Let me see kind of what this is all about. So I went on this little side tangent for a while because sure enough, the serial number suggested that it would have been an actual vintage 1950 Stratocaster. That did not turn out to be the case. It did turn out to be exactly what the person who traded it to me thought it was, which is an older American vintage Stratocaster. There were a few different places I reached out to for help on this. One was a Facebook group called Cool and Old Guitars, so thank you to them. They provided a lot of good information on this. And that kind of then led to the question, like, all right, well, what's the deal with the finish? Because again, the markings on the body, the markings on the neck very clearly said what this guitar was. But it looked like the finish had been tampered with. Now, a combination of that and the serial number, which was on the neck plate, that's where the serial number for vintage Fenders and American vintage reissue Fenders are, it looked to me like someone may have at some point tried to pass this off as a real vintage Stratocaster, possibly to defraud someone. I don't know. I really don't know the history of this guitar beyond the person that I got it from who was honest about it. So I have this really cool guitar. It's just the type that I want. It plays beautifully, but I thought, it's just not, the finish is just too weird and it's too off. Maybe I should try to refinish it myself. Well, I briefly looked into it and I thought, you know, I'm not going to attempt to do a sunburst finish when I've never done this before. And then particularly looking into the process that goes into a nitrocellulose lacquer finish, I just thought, no, let's see who's around who can do it. Now, a friend of mine suggested MJT, and I've seen their work before. So I reached out to them to see if they would be interested in collaborating on a video. They did say yes, it is at a discount, so I want to be upfront about that. They did give me a discount for this refinish of the body. I did not get it in exchange for the videos, just I still paid the majority of the price. But anyway, after making contact with them, we got the process started. Now they have an extremely detailed questionnaire where you can give all sorts of feedback on what you want, including samples of pictures of guitars or things, so you can really fine-tune exactly what type of finish you want it to have, what type of look you want to have on your guitar. I thought that was, it was almost too much for me to handle, because I was, when they offered all these different things, and I was just like, I don't know. I want it to look good. I want it to look like a cool old 50s guitar. Now I decided to go with a medium relic. I'm someone who has traditionally not been into relic guitars. I kind of like the wear on my guitars to be au naturel. However, the issue with this one was that the neck is also worn, and I didn't want this kind of like brand spanking new finish on a body with a worn neck. It didn't seem like it would work, so I thought, let's kind of honor what the guitar looked like before. So I decided to go with a medium relic, and shared some pictures of different sunburst finishes that I liked and different relic jobs that I thought looked good. And then, to avoid some cost, I did strip the finish myself with a heat gun and a putty knife. I did not get to the lower clear coat layer because, hey, I don't know about guitar finishes. I didn't realize that there was a clear coat layer. I thought I had done the whole thing. So I sent it off to them. They did send an email back and said, hey, look, there's another clear coat. We got to cut this off. So that was another $100 charge. But I had them do that, obviously, rather than sending it back and me trying to do more of things that I don't know what I'm doing. Now, it was gone for several months. This is a lengthy process, particularly a nitrocellulose lacquer finish. If you look into what goes into this, this is not something that you just do in a weekend. And so it was gone for a while, and then I get it back, and it just looks great. I really do think it looks great. The relic job, they matched pretty well to what I wanted, and it looks very natural. It does not look like, you know, someone took weird tools to it or anything. It just looks like a guitar that's been checked, that's been broken in, that's been played and, you know, maybe tastefully mishandled, we'll say. But particularly a sunburst finish, you know, there's a lot that can go wrong in a sunburst finish. And, you know, the edges were faded properly, the shape of the sunburst was just right, kind of where it cuts across on the upper horn was just right. You know, the attention to detail on the back, on the bottom, on the sides was all impeccable. And best of all, it looks good with the neck. I think it suits the guitar. It looks like the guitar was meant to look this way. You wouldn't look at this and say like, oh, that looks like a relic job, or, you know, oh, that something doesn't look, it kind of just looks like a cool old slightly beat up Stratocaster. So now I have a guitar that's put together that suits me. I don't have any qualms about it. It plays beautifully, and now the finish kind of matches the way that it plays and sounds. So clearly, I think they did a good job. That would be my answer to that question. The big question for many of you is also going to be, is it worth it? I'm not going to discuss their pricing exactly. They do list it on their webpage, so I'm going to link to their webpage. You can see all kinds of pricing options because, you know, it's going to depend on the guitar. It's going to depend on the job that you want done. Different finishes cost different amounts, different features, extra things, or this and that cost different amounts. I think it would be worth it for a more expensive guitar, for a mid-level to upper-level guitar, if you really want a refinish done, if there's something wrong with the finish, if you want something redone because you don't like the color, or if you're in a situation like mine. I don't know that I would have it done on lower-end guitars. This is a professional high-end job, and it's not at all overpriced, but it's not cheap. So I don't know that I would go spending that kind of amount of money on like a much lower end guitar, because I don't think the service matches the instrument. I would definitely feel confident doing it on a mid-level to higher-end guitar. And so now, of course, you probably want to hear it. This has mostly been a talk video and sharing some pictures, but you probably do want to hear this guitar as well. So I'm going to plug it into my Vox AZ30 today and give you some clean and overdriven tones. Let us know, what do you think of the finish? What do you think of what I'm showing you of this kind of process? Is this something that you would be likely to do with a guitar? Do you have any cool guitar refinish stories? Are there any that you want to refinish that you are now kind of thinking about this? Please let us know in the comments. I'm Jack Fossett. Stick around for some tone. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe. If you want to support the channel, down in the description you are going to find a link to gear recommendations on my webpage. Those are affiliate links, so if you shop through those links, that's going to help support my channel at no additional cost to you. You can also find my Venmo and my PayPal down there. If you leave a tip of $7 or more, I'm going to give you access to a webpage where you can download all of my music, past, present, and future. Anything I come out with is going to be uploaded there for you to download, and that includes jam tracks if you want some cool jam tracks. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoy the rest of the video.